Um, so first, can you just state your first and last name just so my boy Dan can know as well?
So my name is Moussa Samassa.
Nice to meet you, man. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, man.
So basically, we're gonna talk about 20 to 30 minutes. Just talk about basically your upbringing into SUNY Fredonia, what that's been like, how COVID has really impacted your season,
Right.
and really just comparing everything from high school to college and things like that. And we'll talk about, we'll make it fun, not so dull and boring like your typical interview.
Right.
So I'll let Jermaine take the floor, and we'll go from there.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dan in Maine podcast. We're here today with the one and only 6'8" guard, Moussa Samassa. Moussa, how you doing this morning, my brother?
I'm good today, man. You know, good start to the week. How y'all feeling today?
Good, man. Can't complain, brother. So we're just gonna get straight into it. Let's talk about your journey and how you found the game of basketball.
Well, it all started when I was a kid. I remember like watching Kobe as a child, like just watching his game winners. Like it really, like that really changed me. Like that really, I found my admiration from the game through that. Just watching him, like I was really impressed, and from there I like fell in love with the game. I just started playing every day outside in the parks. You know, like little by little, you just fall in love with it.
And where were you from? You talk about playing in the parks. Where did you grow up? And how was the competition in your area?
So I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and it's like, and if you know, like New York City, it's a park on every single corner. So it's
Yeah, for
so you
sure.
could catch a game every corner you go to. Like it's crazy, and that kind of built it for me. It's like just like because when I was a kid, it was like we weren't big on like games and stuff, so everybody was outside playing, and since it's a basketball court on every corner. That's what we were just playing. We just hooping outside, just hooping. And, for sure.
Now that kind of basketball, especially in the city, it's kind of gritty in a way where it brings out that kind of physical toughness in you. Is that translated to you playing in college?
Yeah, for sure. Because when you come to the courts, you gotta come. You gotta bring your game. Because guys, they playing gritty. They all in your face. They getting aggressive. The New York City basketball game, man. You gotta bring your game. Like, and the crazy part is like when you come to those courts, it doesn't matter. Like you come to Dykeman, Rucker, Westfield, they don't care about your name, where you played, who you've been. Like they're coming at you. Like the guys you don't know, the guys you do know. Like and it kind of grew with me.
So growing up, did you always have those guard skills, or were you that kid that was just taller than all the other players and they had you just sitting down low, drop stepping for layups, and then you worked on your handles and stuff individually on your own?
The crazy part about it is like my freshman year of high school, I was like 5'7".
Wow.
Yeah, and like like I don't think I caught like one big. No, I'm lying. I did. I caught like a big growth spurt from like between that sophomore year. It's like the spring break. I came back. I was like 6 feet, but I was like slowly growing, and by the time I graduated high school, I graduated at 6'3". And then I kept growing from there. Like even that next 2 summers, I grew to like 6'7". Then I grew another inch again. So it was like I was always growing like steadily. It's crazy. Like it's insane. Just looking back, it was like
Must be nice.
Definitely.
sure.
Yeah. So what's the biggest difference between playing at a program like SUNY Fredonia compared to playing in high school at the city level?
But I didn't play too much like that in high school. But off just right out the gate, it's college and high school is like way different games. Like just the practices alone, like they're more intense. They're more upbeat, getting up and down the court. There's more practices a day. Like you probably have that 6 a.m. Then you come back, you practice again at night. You probably have a shoot around. Like it's more intense than high school. Really, the talent probably really like high school is like depending where you play, there might not be a lot of comp every night here and there, but every team has one or two guys in college that if you don't come out the hoop, they're gonna give you like 30, probably 40. So I think that's the biggest difference.
And has that competition, like, what has that done to you? Has that made you hungry? Has that gotten you to make your game want to be like, to the top, to the potential that could be at?
Competitive spirit, like I always get from the city, like I always bring it with me everywhere on court. It drives me every time. Every time I get on court, I want to be the best. I want to be better than everyone else. I'm trying to win every possession, not game, like every play, defensively, offensively. I'm trying to win every possession. So I think that really helped me along the way. Really brought me my hunger.
And talk about your college journey. I don't know what year when you came to Adelphi, we actually had a nice little conversation when you was like, yo, do you have advice in regards to the team? Were you at a community college before Adelphi? And then just give a little timeline with your basketball career to leading to where you're at today.
All right. So after high school, I was at a community college at it's called BMCC. It's in Manhattan. It's the Manhattan Community College in Chambers Street. So I was there. I played there for a year. But before I played there, like it was the summer. It was like exposure camp. It's a guy. He's big in New York City grassroots, and he helps guys get scholarships and stuff like that. And he held like a camp. So I go to this camp, not thinking anything of it. It's some of the best guys in the city there. I'm in my head like, all right, it's probably not gonna go well. I go there, hit a couple shots. At the end of the camp, one of the coaches from Mercy offers me a scholarship, like right out of the gate, like 20 minutes into the camp. And I'm like, okay. I always knew I could hoop, but then it was like, you know how sometimes like you believe in yourself, but you get that outside doubt and it kind of pulls you back a little bit. But that just kind of gave me reassurance to like, all right. So instead of taking the scholarship, which any rational kid should have did, I was in my head like, all right, I'm gonna go to JUCO. I'm gonna go crazy. Then I'm gonna go D1. But I ended up going there. I ended up not going to Mercy. I ended up going to BMCC. I think I got hurt one year, and the next year I didn't play that much. So then everything was on the fence on the wall. I ended up transferring to Adelphi. And that's what I made everything. It was crazy. I'm like, man. It was crazy. I was asking Maine too. I'm like, how good are these guys? Like, you think this man is like, bro, you can hoop. Just go out there and hoop, bro. Like, you overthinking. I'm like, all right, for sure. And that didn't work out for me. It was the credits exchange and it was a numbers thing. So I ended up not playing there. So I ended up, but the coach from Fredonia wanted me to come for like 2-3 years now. So I was in my head like, Fredonia is cold. 8 hours. But I'm like, I'm gonna go see what it's about. And I ended up loving it. It was an amazing experience for me. I ended up playing kind of well there, averaging double digits. Probably like 8 rebounds. Really hooped over there. And from there, it just kind of took off for me.
And it seems like they give you a lot of opportunity over there. What was your play style like, and what were some of your key strengths and some things that you felt like you needed to work on, reflecting on your stint at Fredonia?
So the thing with me was always coming up, I was like a little guard. Because remember, I was 5'8" in the 9th grade and grew. But by the time I got to Fredonia, I was at 6'8". So like I always retained those guard skills I already had. So now instead of a 5'8" 2 guard, now I'm a 6'8" 2 guard. But but like on those levels, like if you're not on like the highest level, once you get over that like 6'6", they're gonna bring you down to like either wing or big spot. And like the lower levels you go to, the bigger you'd have to play because of your size. So I ended up playing center position there, and it was kind of eye-opening for me because like I had to readjust my whole game. Like it was insane, but like I learned a lot that year. Like I really improved in the post. Like I had to learn how to post up that year. Really, I was more of a shooter, but I didn't really get to shoot that much trays. So for me, my game had switched from outside dancing and shooting with the ball to like being inside, rebounding, pounding on the block. Like it was night and day for me. Like, but it was a great adjustment because now I learned how to understand the complete offensive game, and that was only gonna help me get further and further.
So who do you kind of role model your game after? You talk about that growth spurt that you had in high school, but when you were a guard, is there someone like in the NBA that you really looked up to that you try to like emulate your game into?
My favorite players was always like Kobe Bryant, but I try to really model my game after Kevin Durant. I was like a tall, skinny kid, so I was like, if I could shoot the ball, hey, I could play at any level. And from there, I just really locked in, like form shooting every day. It was a lot of like, at first though, like when it came to hard work, I didn't really know how to work hard, but that's a lot of kids who play basketball coming up. Like kids think they're in the gym, they go to their practice, they probably shoot around after and they think they're working hard. But that's when I watched a guy like Kobe and he really broke it down. He explained to guys how to work hard. Like he in the gym, he's waking up 3 a.m., getting shots up in the weight room, 4 a.m.s. And I kind of follow suit with that after, I want to say, I graduated high school. That's when I really locked in and really focused on really working hard because I seen that because I kept growing, I seen that I could really have a future in this game.
And we talked about this at length not too long ago. Can you hear or?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Got you. And we talked about this at length. You allude to Kobe putting those extra hours in, having that Mamba mentality. Does that mentality still coincide with you today, especially graduating from a D3 school and then you're trying out for professional teams and working out with professional players?
For sure. Like you have to carry that grit, especially like when you're in my position, especially like even when you trying out for professional teams as like a low major D1 player, you already like looked at it as an underdog. So imagine me walking in the gym as a D3 guy. So I really have to bring that mentality every single time I step on the court. Like I'm really trying to expose these guys. Like, and it's not even just to show that I could hang with these guys, but it's to show they can't hang with me. Like that's my energy when I come on the court. Like for sure, every single time.
Did you ever have that moment to where it was like, man, these guys are maybe some mid-level D1 players, high-level D1 players, high-level D2 players. And you're like, man, I could really hang with these guys and, hold it down for myself and hold my own.
It was like the whole time, like coming out, I knew I could compete with guys. Like even young, when I wouldn't play in certain places, I understood that, all right, your resume and politics could help choose if you could get through certain doors. That's all it was for me. So I understood that. But I think one of the big moments were I had a couple big moments. I think it was one of the camps I played at, one of like a G League camp I played at, and I'm playing against guys, Georgia Tech, Texas Tech, and I'm just killing these guys, like going at it. And I wasn't like 100%, and it's like, and I'm out there like, yeah, these guys aren't that good, and that's when it was the turning point for me. That was one of them, and New York City's hotbed of competition. It was I want to say it was a couple workouts where I played with like not even like high major professional guys like that play in Pro A France, Jeep League, top Russian league, top Spanish leagues. I was playing against guys like that, a couple NBA guys, and I'm going toe to toe with these guys, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really, I could really play this game for the long haul. That's when it really hit me for sure.
Anywhere in particular you're trying to play in Europe, or before or are you just sticking out with the G League?
I mean, for me, I wouldn't mind the overseas because you get to see the world, and that'd be more realistic from like based on my resume, like going overseas and then coming back to the G League or going from there straight to the league. But for me, overseas seems more feasible. But I wouldn't. It all just depends on how things go. You know, the pandemic, it slows everything down. So like,
I said, how did you handle that situation when with the pandemic and when it was really bad? What were you able to do with with that situation?
it's kind of tough though, because like you work so hard like your whole life, then this summer comes up and you really get into it. You really grinding, getting after it, weight room, putting on like 5-10 pounds of muscle. You feel like the best you've ever been, and everything goes to a halt. Like it's insane. Like it's more of a mental game now. Like can you keep focused? Like can you stay the course? Can you stay on the grind while everything is on hold? Can you stay prepared? And that's when being a professional really kicks in. That's when you see who's really a pro. That's when you really got to focus and lock in and day by day just keep getting after it. Like instead of like worrying about the big picture every day, that's what I used to do. You got to worry about the steps in front of you, the steps you take every day that's going to get you to that big picture. So that's what it was for me. It's more of the mental game, like waking up every day, having to get after it for another year straight without playing. So I think that's what's big for me. Like it really helped me improve mentally this COVID crisis.
So you were in the gym just working out, shooting, trying to get up as many shots as you could. Working with any trainers?
Yeah, I'm working with my boy Humble Development.
Nice.
My boy Justin from Humble Development. He's real tough. Trains a lot of pros, kids, couple NBA guys. Like he's it for real. I've been just getting after it, couple 2-3 days, getting shots up, weight room every day. Just really trying to improve every single day. That's what it's about. Just trying to get better, get yourself to that next level. That's how it is. Like once you get to that point where it doesn't feel like working hard, that's when I feel like you're really about to gauge yourself and really snap to the next level.
And you talk about your trainer, the Humble Development Organization. When the goings got tough, or when you went through any trials and tribulations throughout your career beyond basketball, did you have any mentors? That could be family, that could be a coach, and that could be like a trainer as well. Who was that go-to person that you could resort to and confide in?
Thinking back on it, like I was more of like a coming up. I was more of like a lone wolf type of guy. Like it's me against the world. I gotta get it. Like I had that mentality. But looking back on it, like I think everybody needs help. Like you can't do it by yourself. Like it's impossible. Like I think I would have been better off in the long term, actually having mentors and people to really guide me along the way instead of like having this me against the world mentality. Really, like that really helped with my grind, working out and getting better. But everybody needs help. Like you need your connections. You have to build that network coming in, and that's just not in basketball. That's in life, period. So for sure, I think I would have been in a better place long term if I really built those connections.
Who was a player that you saw, like a city ball player, maybe not like an Isaiah Whitehead, like players along the lines of that, like exciting players? Like who was like that guy that you know when he was at Rucker Park or he was playing for his school, he was about to get to it?
Yeah, probably in high school, Isaiah Whitehead was the guy. He was like the All-American, nationally ranked. He walked in the gym. You got to come to play. Certain guys walk in the gym, you got to come to play. We had a point guard on my school team. His name was Darren Thomas. He was tough too. He was a little point guard. He was like 5'9", but he could hoop. Like he's shooting the lights out the gym, like 30 ball. He's tough. It was a few guys like that though, like underrated, under recruited, but that was extremely tough. It was a lot of guys like that in New York City, for sure. Well, I was supposed to play in Canada. I was supposed to be at the training camp, but because of the COVID, they canceled the season and they closed the borders. So from here it's just waiting and working for the next opportunity, whether it be there, whether it be someplace in Eastern Europe. So really for me, the long-term goal is the NBA, but I'm trying to sometimes you gotta focus on the path that gets you there. Like it's like picking the best path that gets you there and along with kind of without skipping steps though. So like, of course you want to be there. I want to be there right now, guarding the best players in the world. But sometimes everything takes time. Like it might not be this year, it might not be the next, but little by little, step by step, just trusting in the team I have around me, and my management and my agency, and just putting in the work daily. And from there, I think everything will fall in line, for sure.
And with this time that you have, I guess it's kind of in limbo. Like you said about the Canadian League, that league got closed down. When you're working out with your trainer, what are you some points that you want to hit, like some weaknesses that you now want to strengthen now that you have like this free time to work on your game?
I think for me, I really had to lock in with in the weight room because I'm a really tall wing, but I'm kind of skinny as well. So for me, it was very important that I put on like 15 pounds of muscle, and I put on like 10, and it's been like up and down scale since the year started. But for sure, I think the most important thing for me is getting my body right so I could bang my body for those longer, gruesome seasons. And I could really shoot it now, but just keeping my ball handling and shooting tighter, really working on coming off screens and pin downs, and just the little stuff like footwork that nobody thinks about, but that makes a big difference in the long term. Like working on them footwork mechanics, just keeping my jump shot tight and attacking the basket with like really working on getting downhill, finishing through contact. Those are like kind of been my main working points throughout the summers and this year, this little pandemic.
Sure. Gotcha. And you're at this point right now, we're literally interviewing you. Was there like present day, when you look back at your whole career and how you got here, was there a moment where it was like, damn, I wish I could have did this different, or I wish I could have got this connection, or do you have any of those what ifs?
The crazy part is I got a lot of those what ifs. Like if I had did this and did that, but the thing is you can't think like that because what if I had got that major offer? What if I did go to this school? What if I did play here? Maybe, who knows? I probably wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now. So I kind of look at it as a blessing because like your whole journey, it all comes together full circle. It's a part of you. So like if I might have played there, but I might have got hurt there. My career could have ended here, and if I took this left instead of this right. Mm-hmm. So I think the hardships we have in all our journeys, whether it be basketball, whether it be media, I think everything is a part of your journey, and everything comes full circle. It all makes you a better person and better at your profession at the end of the day.
I got you.
I like that.
Actually, Moussa, if there's anything that we left out, if there's anything that you want to say, if you got a shout out, feel free, man.
Hey, I just want to shout y'all out for having me, man. I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Bro, thank you so much.
Lit.
Appreciate the time. Good luck to you and your journey. We'll be rooting for you.
For sure. Appreciate you guys, man.
If there's anything that we left out, if there's anything that you want to say, if you got a shout out, feel free, man.
Hey, I just want to shout y'all out for having me, man. I appreciate y'all for having me, man.